Most men think they understand semen retention. They believe it is about testosterone, energy, discipline, the physical mechanics of withholding something the body wants to release. But they are looking at the surface of something that goes far, far deeper. What is truly happening beneath the skin is invisible. It is social. It is psychological. And it is about to rearrange everything you thought you knew. There is a transformation that begins in silence. No announcement, no dramatic moment. It creeps in slowly, reshaping the way the world responds to you before you even notice it yourself. People start reacting to you differently. Women hold their gaze longer. Men shift their tone. Even complete strangers, people who do not know your name, your history, or your choices, begin to sense something around you that they cannot name. They sense it in your eyes first, then in how you move, then in the weight your silence carries when you choose not to speak. Something about you feels dangerous, not in the way of aggression, but in the way of a man who no longer needs anything from anyone in the room. That specific quality, that quiet self-containment, is one of the rarest and most magnetic forces a human being can carry. Most men will never feel this. Not because they are incapable, but because every single day they drain the very fuel that creates it. They pour it out in moments of boredom, loneliness, and impulsive release, and then wonder why life feels muted, gray, and socially flat. They live at a fraction of their biological power and accept it as normal because everyone around them is doing the same. But you are not everyone. The fact that you are here, watching this, listening this deeply, means something is already different about you. Something in you already suspects that the ordinary path is a trap, that the focused, commanding, magnetic version is not a fantasy. He is the natural result of a specific choice you have not yet fully made. This invisible advantage begins the moment you stop leaking your life force into emptiness and start letting it accumulate inside you. The body does not waste what you conserve. It redirects it. It rises through your nervous system, sharpens your mind, stabilizes your chemistry, and expresses itself outward as presence, not personality, not charm, presence. Your eyes change first. This is the detail that surprises men most when they begin the journey. The eyes of a depleted man carry a particular quality, scanning, restless, searching for something outside themselves to fill the hollow inside. But the retained man's eyes become still, focused, calm in the way of a man who is already full. People feel genuinely seen when those eyes land on them, and that feeling is rare enough to be unsettling. When people feel genuinely seen, they react in one of two ways. They either want to step back because vulnerability makes them uncomfortable, or they want to step closer, drawn toward a quality they cannot identify, but desperately want to be near. What they are responding to is not your appearance or your words. It is your signal. The biological broadcast of a man who is operating from surplus rather than scarcity. That broadcast is ancient. It is older than language. It is the primal signal that tribal humans used to identify the strongest men in their group, the ones worth following, worth trusting, worth competing for. Modern society has layered suits and smartphones over those ancient instincts, but it has not erased them. Under everything, we are still animals responding to biological signals we cannot consciously decode. Semen retention tunes your signal back to full volume. The frequency you begin to broadcast when your life force is accumulated rather than continuously expelled is one that resonates at a depth modern men have lost contact with. When you return to it, even partially, even in the first weeks, people around you begin to respond differently without knowing why. They only know that something about you demands a second look. Women feel this most immediately and most powerfully, not because of anything visible, not your clothes, your physique, or your rehearsed lines, but because feminine biology is exquisitely sensitive to masculine vitality signals. A retained man radiates something that bypasses her conscious evaluation entirely. She is drawn before she has formed an opinion, attracted before she has made a decision. Her ancient instincts fire first. Rational thought arrives second, trying to explain something that was already settled. And what she feels is a paradox she cannot resist. She feels the tension of a man who is clearly full of desire. She can sense the accumulated energy, yet who is completely in control of it. Contained, not leaking, not desperate, not performing. That combination, desire without desperation, power without aggression, fullness without overflow, is the precise signal that awakens the deepest feminine attraction response. Most men never manage it because they cannot stop the leak. Men respond to it as well, differently but powerfully. Some feel threatened, that instinctive tightening of a man who senses a competitor operating at a higher level. Some feel drawn, the way people are drawn to fire, to sources of light and heat in a cold room. Some feel genuine respect, the kind that cannot be manufactured, that arrives uninvited in the presence of a man who clearly commands himself. But none of them ignore you. This is the moment to pause. Because if what you are feeling right now is recognition, if something in this is landing as truth you already knew, but had not put into words, then you are exactly the kind of man this channel exists to serve. Hit subscribe right now if you have not already. Because what is coming next, the part about why this advantage is actively hidden from men, is the deepest layer of this conversation, and you will not want to miss it when we return to it. The social advantage builds in layers. In the first days of retention, the shift is internal. Greater mental clarity, a quieting of the restless hunger that used to drive you toward screens and release. The fog begins to lift. Decisions feel cleaner. You notice things about your own behavior that you were previously too distracted to see. This is the beginning of the self-awareness that becomes visible to everyone around you. In the following weeks, the shift becomes external. Your posture changes without your directing it to. The way you take up space in a room shifts. Your voice finds more depth, more steadiness, more authority. Not because you practiced speaking differently, but because the internal resource behind your voice has grown. These are not psychological tricks. They are physiological consequences of a body no longer in constant recovery from depletion. Then comes the social rearrangement. People who once spoke over you now wait for your response. People who once dismissed you now seek your perspective. People who once tested you now tread more carefully in your presence. You did not change your argument. You did not update your strategy. Your energy changed. Your signal changed. And people, being fundamentally biological creatures, responded to the signal, even when they could not explain their own reaction. This is the part that is hardest to believe until you experience it directly, that the world's response to you can shift dramatically without you changing a single external thing. That women and men and strangers can all begin to treat you with more deference, more curiosity, more care, simply because of what you chose to do with the energy inside your own body. It sounds like mysticism until you feel it. Then it feels like the most obvious thing in the world. Your entire social ecosystem begins to reorganize around your new signal. The parasitic relationships, the friendships built on your neediness, the connections sustained by your desperation for approval, quietly dissolve. There is nothing for them to feed on anymore. In their place, different people appear. Serious people, people who want to build something, people who respect themselves enough to recognize and be drawn to a man who respects himself. This is not an accident. Like attracts, like at the energetic level. A man operating from abundance, discipline, and self-mastery naturally magnetizes others who value those things. A man operating from depletion and desperation magnetizes those who want to exploit it. Retention does not just change your energy, it changes the entire quality of the world that flows toward you. Your environment upgrades because you upgraded first. Now here is the part they do not want you to know. The part that will make certain things click into place in a way they never have before. The deliberate weakening of men through endless sexual stimulation and release is not an accident. It is the predictable result of systems, entertainment, advertising, digital platforms that profit enormously from keeping men in a state of chronic depletion, distraction, and desperate searching for the next hit. A man who retains is ungovernable. He cannot be herded by flashing imagery and manufactured desire because his internal fullness insulates him from that manipulation. He sees the machinery clearly. He is no longer a consumer of lust. He is a creator of reality. That specific kind of man is a threat to every system that depends on male weakness. So those systems do not advertise the alternative. They mock it, dismiss it, call it pseudoscience and superstition. But the men who go quiet and try it, not for a week, but long enough to feel the full shift, do not go back. They cannot. Because once you have felt what your life looks and feels like when you are operating from your full biological power, ordinary depleted existence becomes completely unacceptable. The contrast is too stark. The retained life is too rich. The social advantage is too real to surrender back to comfortable numbness. You are standing at that edge right now. Something brought you here. Something made you stay through this entire conversation. That is not random. That is the part of you that already knows. The version of you that has been watching through your eyes all these years, waiting patiently for you to stop throwing away your power, waiting for you to finally choose to accumulate what you have been leaking. That version of you has been here the whole time. And the world has been waiting for him too. Every room he has not yet walked into, every conversation that did not happen because you were not yet carrying the signal that draws people in, every woman who might have felt the pull if the broadcast had been stronger, every man who might have offered respect if the presence had been fuller. The life waiting on the other side of this discipline is not fantasy, it is physics. It is biology doing exactly what biology does. If this is landing in your chest as truth, not as information you are processing, but as something you are feeling, then do something with that feeling right now before it fades. Hit the like button, not as a favor to an algorithm, but as a signal to yourself that you are choosing to stand on the side of truth rather than comfort. Every like is a small act of self-allegiance, a declaration that you are not going back to sleep. Share this with one man you believe is ready to hear it. Not to convince him, not to win an argument, but because somewhere out there is a man in the same fog you were in before today, and the right words at the right moment can change a life's entire trajectory. You know who that man is. Send this to him. That act of brotherhood is itself a practice of abundance, the behavior of a man who gives from fullness rather than hoards from scarcity. Subscribe to this channel, because what we are building here is not a content library. It is a map for men who are done being ordinary. Every video goes deeper into the layers that mainstream platforms will not touch. The truth about masculine power, social dominance, biological mastery, and the hidden forces that have been working against men for decades. This community is growing because the men inside it are growing, and you belong inside it. Now, the thanks button. Look for it below this video. This is the part most viewers skip, and that is exactly why the men who use it receive something different. When you press that button and contribute any amount, genuinely any amount, you are doing something that goes beyond supporting content creation. You are investing in your own transformation. You are telling yourself, at a cellular level, that this work is worth your real-world resources. That active commitment accelerates everything. We have produced content that has quietly changed the direction of thousands of men's lives. Not through magic, not through motivation that fades by Thursday, but through precise, uncomfortable truths delivered consistently to men who are finally ready to receive them. The men who went deepest are the men who invested in time, in attention, and yes, in the thanks button. They signaled to themselves that they were serious. And seriousness, it turns out, is the rarest and most powerful thing a man can become. There is no final conclusion here, because this is not the end of anything. It is the beginning. You now understand what is actually happening when a man retains his seed and how the world reorganizes around that choice in ways that touch every dimension of his social life. The question is not whether this is real. The question is whether you are willing to find out. Every day you hold your seed, you become less of who you were and more of who you have always had the power to be.